Okay, so number 4 also says to solve by elimination, just like number 3. And remember on number 3 I said whenever we're solving by elimination, it's important that your equations have the x and the y on the same side, and also we have to line them up so that we can add the two equations. Alright, well we have x and y on the same side for minus 3x minus 2y equals negative 4. This one is good to go. But this one, 2y equals 8 minus 5x, has the x on the right side. And we need that x on this side so it can line up with this one. Alright, so our first step is going to be adding 5x to this side and also to this side. So we add 5x, add 5x. What does that give us over here? We have a positive 5x and a positive 2y. So 5x plus 2y. We've added 5x, so that goes away. And all we have left is 8. Alright, so we have 5x plus 2y equals 8. We have minus 3x minus 2y equals negative 4. X and y on the same side, x and y on the same side. We are ready to start working. Alright. So I'm just going to rewrite this equation below this one so we can start thinking about what we want to do with it. We have minus 3x minus 2y equals negative 4. Alright, so these are the two equations we're working with. Alright, so since we're doing the elimination method, that means we need to be able to cancel out an x or a y whenever we add the two equations straight down. That means we need to have the same constant in front of one of the variables with opposite signs. And as you see, we already have that here with the y's. So we can just add straight down. 5x plus negative 3x is 2x. These will cancel. 8 plus negative 4 is just 4. Dividing both sides by 2 gives us 8x equals 2. Alright, having x equals 2, we can plug that into our equation here or our equation there. I'm going to choose the top one. Negative 3, we're going to plug in our x as 2 minus 2y equals negative 4. And why are we doing this? Because we already have our value for x, but we don't know what y is. So we're plugging in the x value so we can solve for y. So let's continue. We're working with this one. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 minus 2y equals negative 4. Okay? Since we have a 6 that is added over here, that's subtracted over here, it's negative, we have to add the 6 to get rid of it here. But whatever you do to this side, you also have to do to this side. Okay, that leaves us with minus 2y equals, what is negative 4 and 6? That's a 2. Alright, we have a negative 2 over here that we don't want. So we're going to divide it from both sides, leaving us with, that goes away, so we just have y. 2 divided by negative 2 is negative 1. So we have an x is 2 and a y is negative 1. And we write our answer like this, x comma y. That is your solution. Okay, now we're looking at number 5. It asks, based on the graph of the following system, determine the solution. Well, what is a solution? Remember on number 1, we put our solution as the point where the lines intersected. Well, we've got two lines. Let's see where they intersect. So we've got 1, 2. So our x is 2 because this lines up at 2. And then we count 1, 2, 3. That's a negative 3 for the y. And that is how you answer that question. This comes from the x. Negative 3 comes from the y. Okay, now we're looking at number 6. Number 6 asks, determine if the point 5, 1 is a solution to the following system. And our system of equations are 4x minus 7y equals 13 and 2x minus 7y equals 3. Now to determine if 5, 1 is a solution, that means when we plug in the x and y value, this side should equal that side. Alright, so we plug in 5 for x. Whoop, that's 4, sorry. 4 times our x, which is 5, minus 7 times our y is 1, equals 13. That is a 1. Okay, so 4 times 5 is 20, minus 7 times 1, that's 7, equals 13. Does 20 minus 7 equal 13? You bet it does. Alright, let's check the next one. We plug in a 5 for the x and a 1 for the y. So 2 times 5 minus 7 times 1. Alright, 2 times 5 is 10. Minus 7 times 1, that's 7. Equals 3. Does 10 minus 7 equal 3? Sure does. So our answer? Yes. 5, 1 is a solution to the following system because they have that point, 5, 1, in common. Alright, 7 has us solve by graphing. Alright, think back to number 1. Number 1, we had to put each equation in the y equals mx plus b form. And the reason we had to do that is because that's the only way we know how to graph a line, is by knowing the b, which is the y-intercept, and then using the m to get the other points, whether it be up or down, depending on if it's positive or negative. Okay, so we need both of these equations in that form. Now, neither of them are in that form yet because y is not by itself here and y is not by itself here. So we just got to start getting to work. Here we go. 5x plus 2y equals 4. We'll start with that one. So 5x plus 2y equals 4. How do we get y by itself? Well, our first step is going to be moving this 5x over to the other side. So we start with 5x plus 2y equals 4. To get rid of the 5x over here, we're going to have to subtract it. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. These cancel. All we're left with is 2y here, a positive 2y. Alright? And this side we have a positive 4 and a negative 5x. Since we want it to look like this, mx plus b, I'm going to put this x term first. Minus 5x plus 4. Okay. Now this is a 2y. That's not what we want. We want just y by itself. So we need to divide by 2. And we'll do it to both sides. Then we have, I'm going to write it over here, 2y divided by 2 is y. Negative 5x divided by 2, well, there's no simple way to write that except negative 5x over 2. 4 divided by 2, that's 2. Alright, so we've got our first equation written in y equals mx plus b form. Because y is by itself, we've got an m here, and we've got a b. Alright, so on this section, that's where you write your m and your b. M is negative 5 halves, and your b is 2. Okay, so let's graph that. We've got b is 2, so we start at 2. That's our what? Y-intercept. Okay, we've got a negative slope, negative 5 halves. If it was a positive 5 halves, we would go up 5, right 2, up 5, right 2. But it's not positive, it's negative. So instead of up 5, right 2, we go down 5, right 2. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 2. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 2. Alright, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 2. Alright, so those are our points. Try to draw a line. Nice. Alright, that line is finished. So let's start with x minus y equals 5. This one does not have y by itself yet, so let's figure out how we can do that. We have a positive x over here that needs to be on this side. Since it's positive, we subtract it because it was added to the y. That makes these cancel out. Now we have a negative y equals negative x plus 5. But we wanted y by itself. This is not y by itself. It has a negative 1 multiplied to it. We want a positive y by itself. So what we'll do is just change the signs. This one, dividing by negative 1 makes it positive. Divide negative x by negative 1 makes it positive. And now this one is a negative. So y equals positive x minus 5. So our m is a positive 1. And our b is a negative 5. Alright, so let's graph that. Since our b, the y-intercept is negative 5, we'll start at negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 5. The m is 1, so it just goes up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, all the way. So we'll just draw it like that. Okay? Now, any solution to a graphing solution set, we've got the intersection as our solution. So x2, and the point goes down to 1, 2, it's negative 3. So the solution is where these two lines intersect, and that is at 2, negative 3. Okay, so now we're on number 11. We're going to solve by elimination. We are given 5x plus 2y equals 4, and x minus y equals 5. Remember, when we're solving by elimination, we need to have the x and the y on the same side, and then any numbers go on the right side, so that our x's can line up and our y's can line up. Now, we need the x's or the y's to have the same number in front of them with an opposite sign, so that when we add straight down, one of them will cancel. I'm going to choose the y because they already have opposite signs. This one is a positive 2, this one is a negative 1. I'm going to multiply everything here by 2. Alright, I'm going to write it here. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative y is minus 2y. 2 times 5, that's 10. Okay, so now we can add, now we can add straight down. 5x plus 2x is 7x. These cancel, it's a positive 2y and a negative 2y. We're going to add down 4 plus 10, it's 14. Divide both sides by 7 because 7 is multiplied to x and we need x by itself. These 7's will cancel and leave us with x equals 14 divided by 7, which is 2. So now that we have that x equals 2, we can plug that into either of our first equations. I'm going to choose the first one. So we have 5x plus 2y equals 4. We know that x is 2, so here where the x is, we'll put it there. Plug it in. It's 2y equals 4. Alright, so 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2y equal to 4. We subtract 10, remember, because we want to get y by itself. We're solving for y. We already have x. So 10 minus 10, that's just going to go away. We're left with 2y. What is 4 plus a negative 10? It's negative 6. Divide both sides by 2, because 2 is multiplied to y. We need to get rid of it. Voila. Negative 6 divided by 2. That's negative 3. Alright, it asked for a solution. We have that x is 2 and y is negative 3. So the solution we'll write in coordinate form, x comma y, or 2 comma negative 3. That is your solution.